Ringo Starr, born Richard Starkey on July 7, 1940, in the Dingle district of Liverpool, had a challenging childhood. Growing up in a modest home, his father, Richard Starkey Sr., worked as a baker, and his mother, Elsie Glee Starkey, juggled multiple jobs to support their family after his father left when Ringo was just 3. Life was hard, and Ringo's health battles started early. At the age of 6, a routine appendicitis surgery went wrong, leading to peritonitis, a severe infection that kept him in a coma for a year. After that, Ringo faced another health scare, tuberculosis at age 13, which led him to spend 2 years in a sanatorium. Despite these hardships, Ringo's passion for music bloomed during his hospital stay. His exposure to music therapy introduced him to percussion instruments, a pivotal moment that set the foundation for his future in music. Early music career. After leaving school at 15, Ringo Starr's early years were filled with odd jobs, including working as a machinist and with British Rail. However, it wasn't long before he found his true calling in music. He joined the Eddie Clayton Skiffle Group in 1957, a band that played a mix of folk, blues, and jazz. Skiffle music was taking over Britain at the time, and Ringo quickly gained attention for his rhythmic talents. In 1958, Ringo got his first real drum kit as a Christmas gift, marking a significant turning point in his musical journey. This gift helped the band sound more professional, and they became a regular act at the iconic Cavern Club in Liverpool. However, with the decline of Skiffle, Ringo moved on and found a new opportunity with Rory Storm and the Hurricanes in 1959. This was the beginning of his rise in Liverpool's thriving music scene. Joining the Beatles. Ringo Starr's path to the Beatles began during his time with Rory Storm and the Hurricanes in 1960. It was here that he first met John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison, though at the time, the Beatles were still trying to establish themselves. Ringo was called to fill in for Pete Best, the Beatles' drummer, on occasion, and his laid-back personality and impeccable drumming style stood out to the band. By 1962, it became clear that a change was necessary for the Beatles to reach their full potential, and Ringo was offered a spot. Initially hesitant, Ringo accepted the offer and officially joined the Beatles on August 16, 1962. The transition was rocky, with fans loyal to Pete Best protesting his replacement. But Ringo's drumming quickly won them over, and soon, the Beatles' sound was fully shaped by his solid, feel-driven rhythms. The rise of the Beatles. With Ringo Starr now behind the drums, the Beatles' rise to global fame was unstoppable. His drumming style brought a unique groove to the band's music, particularly on iconic albums like Rubber Soul, 1965, and Revolver, 1966. Ringo's laid-back approach to drumming fit perfectly with the evolving sound of the Beatles. Tracks like Norwegian Wood, which blended folk rock and sitar, and Tomorrow Never Knows with its experimental sounds, showcased Ringo's versatility. But it wasn't just his drumming that made him a beloved member. His vocals also added another layer to the band's charm. Ringo's lighthearted delivery on songs like Yellow Submarine and With a Little Help from My Friends became fan favorites, proving that he was much more than just a drummer. His contribution to the Beatles' identity was undeniable. Tensions within the Beatles. As the 1960s progressed, the dynamic within the Beatles began to shift. The unity that had once defined the band began to fracture due to creative differences and personal tensions. John Lennon and Yoko Ono's close involvement caused friction, with many band members feeling that Yoko's influence was affecting their music. Meanwhile, Paul McCartney's desire for more structured pop melodies conflicted with John's experimental inclinations. George Harrison's growing frustration with his own contributions being overshadowed added another layer of tension. As Ringo Starr observed the changes, he felt increasingly isolated, believing that the others were closer to each other than they were to him. This led to Ringo's departure from the band in 1968, a moment of frustration that he later explained as a need for personal space. However, After some time, he returned, and his presence helped to hold the fragile band together during the recording of Abbey Road, Life After the Beatles. With the Beatles officially disbanded in 1970, Ringo Starr embarked on a solo career. His first solo album, Sentimental Journey, released in March 1970, marked a departure from the rock genre, featuring standards from the 1940s and 1950s. While critics were divided, the album proved that Ringo was not confined to the role of drummer and was willing to explore other musical avenues. His second album, Bocas of Blues, 1970, was a country music project recorded in Nashville. Though it didn't achieve major commercial success, it showcased Ringo's desire to experiment with different genres. The real breakthrough came in 1971 with the release of It Don't Come Easy, co-written with George Harrison. The song became Ringo's first major solo hit, reaching the top 10 in the US and Canada and solidifying his place in the music industry as more than just a former Beatle. Personal struggles and rehab. Ringo Starr's personal life, however, continued to be marked by turbulence. The years following the Beatles' breakup were filled with excess and self-destruction. Ringo struggled with alcoholism, and his marriage to Maureen Cox, his first wife, ended in 1975 due to his unhealthy lifestyle. His drinking and drug use escalated, and he found himself spiraling into a cycle of addiction. Things took a darker turn when his second marriage to actress Barbara Bach became strained due to both their substance abuse. In 1988, a violent incident at home led to a realization that something needed to change. Ringo and Barbara checked into rehab, marking a turning point in their lives. The 6-week program at Sierra Tucson Rehabilitation Center helped Ringo confront his addiction, and though sobriety remained a challenge, he worked hard to maintain it. The All-Star Band. In 1989, Ringo Starr reinvented his career with the formation of the All-Star Band. The band featured an ever-changing lineup of legendary musicians, including Joe Walsh, Billy Preston, and Niels Lofgren, among others. The concept was groundbreaking. Each musician brought their own hits to the stage, creating a unique, rotating concert experience. Ringo's idea of uniting iconic musicians for a shared performance was revolutionary, and it resonated with fans. The All-Star Band toured extensively, bringing Ringo back into the public spotlight and creating a new platform for his music. This approach also allowed Ringo to continue to perform his Beatles hits while showcasing his solo work. The tours were a success, and the band became known for its camaraderie and celebration of music from all eras. Legacy and influence. As Ringo Starr's career continued to flourish, his influence on rock music became more apparent. While many had overlooked his contributions to the Beatles' sound, his drumming was an essential part of their success. His innovative techniques, like the backward tape loops used on Rain, and his solid, feel-driven drumming on songs like Come Together and A Day in the Life, left a lasting imprint on the genre. Phil Collins and Dave Grohl have both cited Ringo as one of the greatest drummers of all time, recognizing his unique ability to create memorable beats without unnecessary complexity. In 2015, Ringo was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a solo artist, cementing his legacy as more than just a Beatle. His induction was a rare honor for a drummer and a testament to his contribution to the world of music. Personal growth and reflections. Ringo Starr's journey has been one of personal growth and redemption. After overcoming addiction and rebuilding his relationships, particularly with his children and his wife Barbara, Ringo found peace in his later years. He became a vocal advocate for peace and love, messages that he often shared during his all-star band performances. While his early years were marked by excess and personal turmoil, Ringo emerged stronger, with a deep sense of gratitude for his family, friends, and fans. His public apology for his past actions, along with his ongoing commitment to sobriety, showed that change was possible, even for rock stars. Today, Ringo Starr continues to perform, creating music that resonates with fans around the world and sharing his message of peace and love.